the SL World Room, and things are getting underway. I'm sure we'll be seeing. There we go. Dooley is underway, as is Xerox. We will get these sorted out in terms of sync for each other very soon. Now, Dooley is going to grab power-ups in 1-1 and 1-2. He prefers Big Fire Mario. And had a little bit of a hiccup there grabbing the mushroom, but not a major deal, just the tiny, small little time loss. Xerox Fiend, meanwhile, getting a 70 on the timer, a 370. So he got the perfect 380 in the underground, 370 on the timer to end 1-1.
So the big difference you're going to see through here is Dooley's going to sacrifice a little time early on just to get a little comfort to get through 1-2 and 1-3 with that power-up, where you're going to see Xerox play a more aggressive 1-2, where he's going to have to go for a couple of what I like to call flick jumps, where you're running your thumb across the controller. Coming up here,
no,
he's going to play
safe. Xerox has always done the shell kick, so
okay,
he'll play safe jumps here as well. So that's Xerox's typical race strategy, is to go with the shell kick, just to ensure he doesn't die in 1-2. I think that's certainly a really smart strategy when you're the favorite, but even as an underdog, I think it's good not to die and just keep yourself, in the race, because it's a long race and anybody can make a mistake. So that's Xerox's preferred method.
I really like his pause strat coming out of the pipe there too, to avoid the 6 on the timer for the fireworks.
Yep, so now we are into 1-3. Xerox preferring to grab the mushroom here using what we call the Goofy Chocobo grab, and very nicely done by Xerox. He is going to get, I think, an 8 on the timer, if not a 7. Just a 7, but it might be a high enough 7 that he gets the 258 frame rule. So really nicely done by Xerox. Dooley with the perfect 1-3 because he already had the power-ups, and now they will head into 1-4. We're synced up under time, so Dooley will get to run through and kill Bowser with fire in 1-4. Xerox Fiend, meanwhile, will set up the Small Fire Mario glitch.
So with Small Fire, what Xerox is going to do is he's actually going to hit Bowser and the axe at the same time. You'll see it go into its damage animation. The game thinks you took damage, and you're supposed to be small, but you are still big, which is going to allow you to grab the power-up to go to your small Mario, which has a smaller hitbox, and that will also continue when you grab fire. That allows you to run through the levels a little bit easier with the small strats as opposed to a bigger hitbox Mario.
Absolutely. So now you will see Xerox grab 2 power-ups. The first one was a mushroom that actually turned him small because of this glitch, and then the second one is the fire flower, so now he has small fire, and that cost him a few seconds just to grab that those power-ups relative to Dooley, but so now that's why they're kind of synced out, almost equal to each other. Dooley grabbing the flag about a second behind Xerox Fiend. So now both of their strategies have shook out, and Xerox Fiend is about 1 second ahead of dodgemasterdooley. Neither has to grab power-ups at this point, so we are kind of fair game at this point to kind of determine where these two have shook out against each other, entering our first water section.
Now, this is fantastic. There is nothing you can do to go faster except to mash that button and swim, all the while avoiding all the cheats in the bloopers. Now, the trick is the bloopers. The bloopers have, I believe, 4 different patterns you can get out of them, Takate?
I actually don't know how many patterns there are. That might be something to study, but yeah, I just kind of swim and react, and that's what usually these runners do unless they absolutely know what frame rule they are on. And right now we see both of them just powering through the levels. Xerox Fiend getting a perfect... Oh, nope, he had a little bonk in the pipe there. Gets a 315. Dooley a 313. But that means Dooley going to have to avoid the fireworks there. He did the safer jump out of the stairs, but he actually... would have gotten a 6 on the timer, this is a good thing to point out. If you get a 6 in the ones digit of the timer when you touch the flag, that would give you 6 fireworks, which costs you around 2.5, 3 seconds. And then if you were to get a 3 on the ones digit, you get 3 fireworks, cost you about 1.5 seconds, give or take a little bit. And if you get a 1 in the ones digit, it gives you 1 firework, but that doesn't really cost you any time. So you want to really avoid the 6s and the 3s in the ones digit of the timer at the end of these levels. And meanwhile, Retro Dooley taking a hit to one of the cheap-cheeps in 2-3.
So now Dooley's going to have to... He could re-grab power up in 2-4 if he wants to have a barrier, but it'll probably end up being World 3 going through.
Yeah, that's correct. We'll see Retro Dooley grab the mushroom here to regain his power-up status. Xerox Fiend, meanwhile, making way nice for 2-4. Early fireball shots miss Bowser, but a very nice fire kill and a 260 on the timer for xeroxfiend.
Very nice elevator jump for Dooley there in 2-4.
Dooley going to take the top route over Bowser. He's trying to lure Bowser in, and he'll use the platform to... Oh, he's going to set up small fire Mario. So Dooley now going small fire. Very interesting strategy by Retro Dooley to go small fire at this point. So a little change of plans for him with that hit that he took in 2-3. He's now switching it up to small fire Mario. And he's going to power through the beginning of 3-1 without grabbing the opening power-up. There's a power-up there you could get on the first question block, or the third question block, I should say, but it's a little bit complex to get with the enemies there. Instead, he's going to grab the star. So I really like this strategy by Dooley. He's going to grab the star. Now he's going to grab the mushroom. Very nicely done by Retro Dooley. There is one more power-up he'll grab here as well. So we can tell this is something he has absolutely practiced. He's very confident in this and knows exactly what he's doing.
All right, Xerox making his way through 3-2 with relative ease, especially with power-up. It's mostly platforming and shooting, making sure, 245, perfect time on there. He's going to be going into 3-3, while Dooley is just about a level behind at this point.
Absolutely, but very early, there's still the very treacherous World 5, 6, 7 gauntlet that can really change the race, and of course, anything can happen in some of these other levels as well. 3-4, there's the Potaboos and the Fire Bars that we're about to get to. I'm sure xeroxfiend knows the pattern because he hasn't really had any major mistakes yet. So he's got a spreadsheet that tells him all the patterns that he'll see in this 3-4. But if you miss a jump, if you get hit by one of the Potaboos or one of the Fire Bars, you'll have to start collecting power-ups, and that can really change things.
Now, looking in the comments right now on the stream, somebody did mention the infinite lives trick in 3-1. It is something you can do, but in a race setting, the time lost to pick it up is not always the best strategy, especially if you know the person you're going up against is going to have a perfect time on you.
Alrighty, xeroxfiend, no problem in 3-4. Knew the pattern, knew exactly what he's going to get. Gets a 261 on the timer. Now he heads into 4-1, easiest level in the speedrun. Meanwhile, Retro Dooley heading into 3-4. And this is where having the spreadsheet really helps, because you saw xeroxfiend just power through. Retro Dooley had to hesitate on that first Potaboo, and now he'll probably have to take these Potaboos and Fireballs safe as well. Really nicely done by Dooley. I keep calling him Retro Dooley, but it's Dodgemaster Dooley. I told you from the outset I was going to do that, but great job by Dodgemaster Dooley to get the 254 with the nice safe 3-4. xeroxfiend heading into 4-2, about a full level ahead of Dooley.
So everybody in chat right now, are we team top route or team bottom route? Where are we going?
So for those of you who don't even know what that is, in 4-2, you can take either the top route and climb over the level, or you can go the bottom route and shoot these piranha plants like xeroxfiend is doing. I know Xerox prefers bottom route, but what do you guys prefer in chat?
I like the look of swag route, but I am team top route all day. Team safety is how I roll.
That's the way I am as well, but it really is whatever suits your comfort. xeroxfiend, more comfortable going bottom route, so just as fast, and technically it's a little bit faster because you don't have to do that slowdown when you fall down on the top, but it actually doesn't gain you any time because of the frame rules that Mario Brothers has, so it's just as fast to go top as bottom in terms of real time, but...
I think Dooley wanted to go top route but missed the jump, so now he's forced to go bottom route, which he'll finish top here. So if you're used to playing safe on the top route, bottom can be very uncomfortable for you.
That's right, and that has happened to all of us at times. We've missed going top, and we've had to power through the bottom, so it is good to know the bottom route just in case you miss going up to the top, but I certainly prefer the safety, but again, to each runner their own and whatever they prefer. xeroxfiend heading into 4-4, one of our maze level castles. This is the first of them. You have to take a certain path through the castle to not loop the pattern. Otherwise, you would just keep looping if you kept the wrong direction in this castle. Of course, these runners know the directions, so it shouldn't be any problem for them. And xeroxfiend a nice 348 in 4-4.
A little Mario fun tidbit: in subsequent re-releases of this game, Super Mario All-Stars, the legendary Game Boy re-release, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, actually add a bell that let you know when you take the right route in 4-4 and 7-4. We were not so fortunate in the NES original version.
That's right. And now Dooley into 4-4. Xerox Fiend makes his way into World 5. 5-1 being the easiest of the levels in World 5. Once you get to 5-2, 5-3, and 5-4, it can really start to get a little bit hairy. 5-2, there's a bullet bill that could fire here. I know Xerox Fiend knows exactly what to expect here, so no problem with a bullet bill. He's still on his spreadsheet. A very nice run going for Xerox Fiend so far. And dodgemasterdooley heading into 5-1. 5-3, you'll get a lot of bullet bills that could throw, slightly random patterns, especially if you don't know the frame rule you're on. And 5-4 is a repeat of 2-4, but with more fire bars and potaboos and things like that. So certainly this is one of the more treacherous worlds in the speedrun.
All right, nice job avoiding the fireworks by Dooley after taking a bonk on the steps. Again, 5-3, this is definitely the level where a lot of runs go to die. These bullet bills, if you don't know where you're at, can be extremely treacherous. And even then, if you know where they're coming, sometimes one missed jump makes all the difference.
Yeah, and we saw Xerox Fiend with a nice avoidance of a bill towards the beginning of that level. He went right over it. Sometimes that can be a pretty tough bill to avoid. And he gets the perfect 260 in 5-3. I believe he's still on the spreadsheet, so I think he knows what's coming in 5-4. We'll see if he's on a good frame rule to do fast patterns here, or if he has to do the Roy Goodbar strategy, the Royale Goodbars. Looks like he knows he's on a good frame rule, so he's going to go for it here.
All right. Nice job on the jump there, going through.
Oh, Xerox Fiend takes a hit to the fire bar.
Now, this is treacherous with small fire because being large, your hitbox is bigger, and if you die, you lose that small fire advantage.
That's right. And so if Xerox Fiend, even though he looks big now, he actually has the properties of small Mario. If he takes one hit, he would die. Fortunately for him, 6-1 is a great spot to grab power-ups. There's two very convenient power-ups to grab right here. The second one is a little bit tougher just because Lakitu starts throwing a bunch of spinies, and there's a very precariously placed pit right after the next power-up. So we'll have to watch and see if he keeps his power up here, if he has trouble getting through. No problem there. Great job by Xerox Fiend in 6-1 grabbing both power-ups.
All right, Dooley opting to take the Royal Goodbar strat, waiting there for him. And a nice kill on Bowser. And he is actually going to gain a little bit of time here just because of Xerox having to regain power-ups.
That's right. So they're back to one level apart.
Anybody's race at this point still.
No doubt. So Xerox Fiend heading into one of the more difficult levels of the speedrun, maybe even the most difficult, especially for newer runners. Lots of Piranha Plant kills, and definitely a very difficult stair section at the end of this level as well.
Beautiful snipe there by Xerox. All right. Dooley, they're hitting the flags almost simultaneously, one level apart. They're still maintaining, Xerox maintains his distance. Dooley is charging ahead still. Has not taken a hit since he's gotten small fire.
That's correct. So now Dooley heading into 6-2, and I see Rupert mentioning in the comments that in the chat there that 6-2 is a pain as small only. Fortunately, these runners are powered up with fire. Xerox did not lose power in 6-2, and it looks like Dooley so far has kept his power up. Hopefully no commentator's curse, as Xerox Fiend meanwhile completes 6-3.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and piggyback on Rupert and just say 6-2, and there he goes, takes the hit. I will take full responsibility for that. 6-2 is my least favorite level.
Xerox Fiend heading into 6-4. It is a repeat of 1-4, but more potaboos, more fire bars, and now Bowser starts throwing hammers. We haven't seen Bowser throw hammers in any of the first 5 castles. World 6 is the first castle where Bowser starts throwing hammers, but Xerox Fiend making quick work of 6-4, a 257 on the timer, which is about as good as you can do when you have to play it safe at the beginning of 6-4 like Xerox Fiend had to do.
All right, Dooley with a great power-up grab in 6-3. That power-up is an extremely difficult grab to get. He'll be coming in to 6-4 here, hoping to regain small fire. And 7-1, now we're getting into the later stages of the game. They're getting a little longer, a little more difficult. You're seeing more Hammer Bros now.
Absolutely, more Hammer Bros, and Xerox Fiend fortunately has fire in 7-1. If you lose your fire flower, let's say in 6-4 or somewhere, you can grab a power-up at the beginning of 7-1, but you still have to make it through at least one set or 2 sets of Hammer Bros before you power up. So it can be a treacherous level if you don't have power-up. Fortunately, Xerox Fiend did, and now Dooley is heading into 7-1 with power-up also. He chose to grab that 6-4 but power-up. I think partly for the Bowser kill here, but partly also so that he had fire going into World 7.
All right, some great snipes here in 7-2 for Xerox. This swim exceedingly more difficult than 2-2 with the added cheeps, and again, the bloopers just coming after you relentlessly.
Yep, we'll have to watch and see if Xerox gets what we call the bad blooper here at the end. He does. He's going to have to... Oh, he squeezes through! I thought he was going to try to lure the blooper out of the way. I actually wonder if he intended to lure the blooper out of the way, because we saw him shoot a fireball and turn around, but and maybe he accidentally pressed B instead of A. I'm not sure. That might be something we'll have to ask him about at the end there, but that was exceptionally close for Xerox.
I know Dooley changed his name to Dodgemaster, but we're going to have to give serious consideration to Xerox after that play in 7-2.
That was incredible dodge. Xerox Fiend just avoiding the cheap there. This is another level that things can go awry if you get a bad cheap, but the small hitbox certainly helps in 7-3.
All right, Dooley navigating 7-2 as well, getting some good snipes in there, getting some good dodges as per the name. Staying on brand is always good. And up, tough cheap, he gets a good blooper, and he should be out and through.
Xerox Fiend into 7-4. This is another maze level. You're going to go in the bottom, middle, and top at the beginning, and then you're going to go top, middle, top for the second half. So now Xerox is at the top. He's going to slide down into the middle, and then jump back up to the top and complete the maze and get ready for another fire kill on Bowser. Well done. 343 for Xerox Fiend there.
All right. Ooh. Oh, another hit for Dooley on the cheeps. The cheeps strike again. So Dooley grabbing the power-up. At this point, with 7-4, there's no power-up to gain in the maze, and then a power-up in 8-1 is not... Is there even a power-up in 8-1, Takate? I'm actually not 100% sure.
There is the star, which I believe Dooley would grab. I'm not positive, but you can grab a star for invincibility in 8-1, but there is no fire or mushroom power-up there to grab. Meanwhile, Xerox Fiend has fire in 8-1. World 8, if you run any percent, is a very comfortable world for you because you have to play all of World 8 as Small Mario with no fire. So Xerox Fiend is Small Mario with fire, so it's even easier in this situation. He's going to head into 8-2, where he has made famous the Xerox F BBBB strategy. Let's see him employ his famous strategy here in 8-2.
All right, great stairs to start. The fast start on the stairs, followed by some platforming here on this. And Takate, if you could explain BBB just a little bit better outside of the name and the fact that it is Xerox who came up with it.
Yep, so you're going to watch Xerox bonk on this pipe, brush up against this pipe, bounce over, and then boing off the Koopa. I might have gone boing and then bounce, but either way, there's 4 Bs in there, and it works 99% plus of the time. I think there's like occasionally once in a while it won't work, and usually it's runner error anyway. As you see Dooley grab the star in 8-1. So Xerox Fiend heading into 8-3, shoots that first Koopa out of the way, which is a great thing to do so that you avoid any bullet bill shots that might come at you there early. And he should be pretty comfortable in 8-3 with the Fire Flower. Hopefully he doesn't get any of the Troll Hammer Brothers here, but he might be able to react to them anyway. No Troll Hammer Brothers. Now he just has to complete the level. He did a little slowdown at the beginning of the level instead of at the end of the level, like most people do, to avoid fireworks. That's his preferred method, is to do a buffer jump at the beginning of 8-3 and then a little left-right wiggle to avoid getting fireworks at the end of 8-3. Different runners have different methods of avoiding a 3 on the timer there. So Xerox Fiend into our final level, 8-4. Let's see if he gets the wall jump. Meanwhile, Retro Dooley powering up in 8-2.
All right, and missed the wall jump there. Has to take the climb, but still looking in good shape coming through. Dooley looks like he lost power up at some point in 8-1, having to re-grab it, but that's okay. Playing a nice safe 8-2, and he's on through to 8-3.
Xerox into the final water section of the speedrun, a little mini water section, 8-4, and then he will be into the final room, Bowser's room. He will be able to shoot this Hammer Brother out of the way, and then he is home free. It doesn't matter if he takes a hit at that point. His iframes will carry him to the axe. No iframes needed. Bowser goes forward. Xerox Fiend on 1927. A well done speed run by Xerox Fiend. Right up there for one of the top times of this tournament so far. So GG for Xerox Fiend, and I have to hand it to Retro Dooley as well. No deaths yet, and he's on a pretty good pace. I don't think it's quite PB pace, but even in a race, if you get near your PB, that's a very good run. So no deaths for Retro Dooley. He has a chance to sub 21 into this final level, which would be fantastic. If you usually end up within a minute of your PB, I tend to call that a fantastic race. So Retro Dooley looking very good into 8-4.
All right, taking the safety approach to the stairs.
And I keep calling him Retro. My apologies.
That's okay. That's fine. This is a retro game, so it does fit the brand. All right, Dooley coming through. He's going to blast, and he is going to take the safe route on there with the climb. All right, next thing you go into the turnaround room, where we're actually going to use a wrong warp, where we push the screen far enough to where going down that pipe, normally it would return you to the beginning of the level, but because we went far enough ahead, it takes us to the next pipe's warp zone, which happens to be the next part of the maze. Going through the swim here, taking out the bloopers, does not challenge the fire bar, goes under. Here comes Dooley coming up to the last one. He's going to take the jump. He's going to blast the hammer, bro. What kind of Bowser do we get? He takes the hit, gets the axe, saves the princess. GG's to Dooley. Looks like we have
so
2107 SRL for Dooley.
Yeah, it was about a 2058 on his timer when he hit the axe, so I'll give that a sub 21. Really well done for Dooley, coming within a minute of his PB, sub 21. That's a fantastic race. It just so happened that Xerox Fiend basically played a flawless race outside of the firebar hit in 5-4. So really well done to both runners. Xerox Fiend going to go on and advance in the winner's bracket. He will face the winner of Rupert 83, Mars 02, and Dooley moving down to the second chance bracket. I believe he is going to have to await the winner of another match between TJK and the loser of Rupert and Mars. So yeah, that's what we're going to have to look forward to here. And the bracket's already updated, so thank you to our admins and for updating the bracket already. Congratulations to both runners. Let's see if we can get them in here for interviews. Yeah, Spork, what do you think of that race? I mean, very, very well done by both runners.
Absolutely phenomenal job by both guys. Just to have such a clean race for such a high-pressure situation. I don't know if either of them were watching the other person racing right now, but if you are and you see someone like Xerox get his small fire, keep his small fire, not die, it really pushes you to want to take those chances to try to get back in. And as I'm saying this, here is the winner himself, Xerox Fiend. Welcome. Congratulations on such a fantastic first round win for you.
Hey, thanks, Spork. It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, talk about your race, Xerox. I mean, a 1927, I think, second best time maybe that we've seen in this tournament so far. I think one other run was a 1924. So a really incredible time. You did take that hit in the firebar in 5-4. Luckily, the 6-1 power-ups aren't too hard to grab. How did you feel running today?
Yeah, you know, it wasn't perfect, but I felt pretty strong. I felt nice and warmed up. 5-4 was a bummer. I hit a really good frame rule actually, and I just choked that jump. Otherwise, I would have had some nice patterns there. So I don't know, maybe I was a little excited to actually hit a good frame rule there. But yeah, if you're gonna lose your power up, 5-4 is probably the best place in the run. So.
And then you even you got those iframes to not even have to worry about the potaboos. So it was just about avoiding Bowser at the end there. So.
Oh my goodness, I almost choked that as well. I lost way more speed on that little platform than I thought I did. It was a little bit monka for a bit.
So next thing we want to talk about is your blooper dodge in 7-2, getting into that pipe at the end. That was probably one of the riskiest plays I think I've ever seen in this run.
Yeah, you know, it probably would have been smart to manipulate his movement and just go in safe. But I saw where he was, and I read it, and I was like, you know, I think I can squeeze through there.
So I actually wasn't sure if you meant to do that or not because around, and so I wasn't sure if you're trying to turn around to lure. Fire shot was intentional, or you're trying to press A and swim back, and so definitely it was an intentional move. So well done. We were saying you're facing Dodge Master Dooley, but that may have been one of the dodges of the race.
Dodge of the race. I'm saying dodge of the tournament right now. Everybody else in the tournament, you have a tough task to follow trying to match that play.
Well, thanks. Yeah, that was fun.
Yep. So finally, you got to put together your patented Xerox F BBBB, and I think I said the B's out of order. Talk us through what that is exactly.
Yeah. So basically, it's a method that I found that is frame rule independent, right? So it works on every single frame rule. As long as there's a couple of prerequisites, you need to do the fast stairs to start the level most of the time. And then if you do those specific Bs fast enough, you'll get the exact same Koopa patterns. Well, the final Koopa pattern will always be the same. That's the really important one. And so yeah, it allows you to get past those 3 jumping Paracoopas every time without trouble, as well as you can always count on bouncing on that final Koopa, which it makes 8-2, which is very scary in a race. Almost not a big deal at all. So,
yeah, really well done. And as you mentioned, you were still on the spreadsheet, your spreadsheet that you have through 5-4, unfortunately taking that hit. Was this your best race time, or it's certainly got to be up there with one of your best race times?
It's definitely up there. My best race time, I mean, this is my best race time in like an actual like tournament. My best race time ever is a 1924, so this is right up there. So I'm feeling really good. It was a good run for sure.
Alrighty, Spork. Any other questions for Xerox? We're not going to be able to get Dooley. Also, Rupert commenting it's a race PB for you on SRL, so that's pretty neat. But
oh yeah, nice.
Dooley unable to interview. Spork, any last questions for Xerox?
How are you feeling going into your next tournament race? You think the strats that you had today, what are you going to take from this race to go forward into the tournament?
I feel pretty confident with my strategies right now. There's one thing that I'm torn on, and that's if I go with a slightly riskier 1-2. But everything else, you saw it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay on the spreadsheet if I can, and if I hit a good frame rule, I'm going for risky strats in 3-4, 5-4, 6-4. But yeah, that was basically it. It other than getting hit in 5-4, that's really how I want the race to go.
So one final question. You will be playing the winner of Rupert and Mars. How do you feel about that race? I'm not going to say do you prefer one over the other because they both have really good PBs, but what do you think about that race in general?
Yeah, that's going to be a really good one. Rupert, obviously, veteran. He's an incredible racer. He always has a consistent time. 1930s is just like a given, I think, for Rupert. And Mars has been improving very rapidly recently. He's been putting up some insane race times as well as his PB. So I think that'll be a really good one, and I'll be excited to race either of those gentlemen. So.
There you have it. And one other final thing, Xerox Fiend went camping this past weekend, so he kind of came in a little cold, and so really well done. Also, happy anniversary to you and your wife, Graceland. It is your wedding anniversary, so well done. GG on your race on your wedding anniversary.
Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Seriously.
All right. Before we head out, also congratulations on your anniversary, Xerox.
Thanks,
if you
man.
like what you saw, if you're not familiar with Super Mario Brother community, follow the racers. They're fantastic runners. Coming up, though, we have more race action tomorrow. In fact, we've got a double header and then another race. 8:30 p.m. We have a double going on Eastern Time. Mars versus Rupert that we just talked about, and Mr. Cab and Infinite Mystery in their second round matchup, followed by at 11 p.m. Supersonic, the number 3 time in the world. Am I not mistaken? Number 3 on the leaderboard versus Craig Cartman. So those are 2 fantastic races, or 3 fantastic races. I keep tripping up because I got that double header going on. You get to watch 2 races at once tomorrow. I always love the double races. I don't know about you, Takate.
It's a lot to keep up with, but that also means a lot of action.
Absolutely. So keep in touch with the Speed Gaming channels. They got 6 of them. We'll have them all assigned, see what comes up, and check out more races as the tournament powers on.
Alrighty, that's going to do it. Xerox, congratulations once again, and looking forward to watching your race in the next round. That's going to do it for this edition of the SMB 1 2019 Warpless Tournament. For Elder Spork, the Elder Spork, I am Takate. Have a great night, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Have a good one.